Today we're installing a DaVinci M55010 Kalani 4-in-1 convertible crib in a honey oak color. First thing we notice when we get the box open is that it's a beautiful color, really nice honey oak color. And we're going to start out by putting the feet onto the legs. So the legs, it looks like, are F, E, O, and N. And then you just take these dowels and you stick them in here. I found that a few of them were pretty tight and I just had to kind of tap them a little bit to get them in. And then once you've got the dowels in there, you just stick the feet right on the leg. And this one went on really easy, but there was a few of them I had to gently kind of tap them on there. And then once it's in place, just take the screw in the bottom and screw it in. So now we got our feet on our legs. Next we're going to install the back piece, or put the back piece together. So it's this bigger piece here, which is supposed to be A, but ours doesn't have a sticker. And then legs N and O. And then the top piece is P, which there's one for the front and the back, and neither one of them are labeled. So now we're going to set board P on top of the back, piece A. Kind of hold it there. So we ended up having to stand it up on its side. We're going to take piece L, we're going to insert it into the hole, and then this is piece O, and we have on the top we have bolt R, on the bottom we have bolt S, and then they both have lock washers, which is part W, I believe. Yeah. Or no, lock washer is Z. Lock washer is Z. And then we're just going to screw them in. So yeah, those are lock washers Z. I said it wrong before. And to get this one started, you may have to rotate this piece L a little bit. So it's kind of hard to get this piece L lined up perfectly. When you put it in, make sure that it's straight up and down. The hole is straight up and down. And then this bolt should hopefully kind of go in. Yeah, there we go. I got it nice and straight, so it went in that time. So you want to make sure that there's the countersunk hole there so that the bolt head disappears completely, and you want to make sure that this is pushed in tight here before you tighten it down completely. With this top one, I did have a little bit of trouble getting it to go down all the way at first, but now it's going. Now we're going to do the bottom of it. Again, we need piece L, insert it in there with the hole straight up and down, and then bolt S with lock washer Z, into the countersunk hole here. And since I got that hole perfectly up and down, it went right in. But if you don't get that hole perfectly up and down, you're going to have lots of trouble. So now we got it flipped over. We're going to put this piece in on the other side. Once again, we got the countersunk holes facing upwards so that the bolt heads go inside. Starting with bolt R with lock washer Z. I'm sticking it in the hole. And then once again, piece L with the hole lined perfectly up and down in the hole. And then bolt S with lock washer Z. Okay, that time I didn't get it lined up so good. There we go. Once again, I'll make sure I have this pulled down all the way. Okay. And for the bottom of this, same deal again. Piece L goes into the hole perfectly up and down. And then bolt S with lock washer Z. I got this one perfectly straight either. There we go. So now our back piece is completed and we will begin on the sides. In the next step, we're going to create the sides. We're going to connect D to leg F, and then we're also going to connect side panel C to leg E. Once again, we got it sideways. We got bolt K, lock washer Z, and this piece L here as well again. So we're going to put that perfectly straight up and down, the hole straight up and down. And then just drop this bolt K in here. Screw it in. Okay. Once again, we got bolt K, lock washer Z, piece L. This time I'm going to have to try to put it in with the hole going diagonally so it lines up with the bolt perfectly, I hope. Now we're doing the exact same thing with pieces D and F. Once again, taking piece L, lining the hole up perfectly straight up and down. and then putting bolt K with lock washer Z into the hole. I might not have got this one perfectly lined up. Oh, there we go. A note here, sometimes it's really hard to get this piece L in perfectly. If you want to, you can kind of just look up here and you can see if it's straight up and down or if the hole is centered in this hole. Once again, we'll try to take this piece L and put the hole diagonally so it points up at this hole. And then take bolt K with lock washer Z and stick it in. And like I said, if you need to, you can look down this hole and make sure this L is lined up good before you put it in. But so far I'm having pretty good luck, just kind of winging it. Okay, we've got a gap here. That's not good. I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to loosen up the bottom piece and then tighten the top piece. Yeah, so we'll just loosen this up a little bit. We'll tighten the top and then we'll tighten the bottom back up again. That'll get rid of that gap that we've got. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, now we can tighten the bottom again. Much better. So yeah, I'm looking at the other piece now, and I guess we've got a little bit of gap on the top as well. So we'll go ahead and loosen up the bottom again. I guess on these side pieces it's better to tighten up the top piece first. So once again, we're getting rid of our gap. Yeah, much better. We'll tighten the bottom back down. Okay, so that is both of our side pieces are complete. And next we will attach the side pieces to the back piece. So I learned kind of a neat trick. Bolt K right here is actually the same length as it is on the paper. So that's kind of neat. I guess all of the bolts line up, or they match up with the sheet, so that's pretty handy. Next we're going to attach side panel D to the back piece. So side panel D to the back piece, and making sure that our countersunk holes are facing outwards. Once again, we're going to take piece L. This time we're going to put the hole sideways and insert it. And then bolt K with lock washer Z goes in. hopefully they line up perfectly. I think I'll go ahead and get the bottom one started before I tighten up the top one here. Now we'll take piece L, put it in the hole down at the bottom, and then bolt K with washer Z, and put it in the hole over here. Hopefully they line up. And I'll go ahead and tighten up the top part as well. This is installing side C onto the back piece. Got this couple of K bolts here, the Z's and the L's again. To put the side panel C on, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to take this piece L, make sure it's horizontal this time, stick it in its place, and from the other side I'll go ahead and put bolt K with lock washer Z in. And the same thing on the top. Piece L with the hole going horizontally. Push it in there. And put in bolt K with lock washer Z. Now I'll tighten up the top and the bottom here. Next we're going to install our mattress. It's labeled upper side, and then we're going to attach it to the highest holes since we're going to have a newborn. We've got bolt J with washer M and lock washer Z, and then they provided an Allen wrench for us. Again, we're in the top hole. Now we're on step 6. We're going to install this front piece B with piece P on top of it onto the front of the crib. We've got, at this point, we should have 4 S bolts left with lock washer Z and pieces L to go with them, and 2 bolt R's left over with lock washer Z's to go with them. And if you don't have the right number of bolts, it's probably because you used the wrong bolt someplace else in the project. So while you're doing this whole project, you're going to have to make sure that you're always putting the right bolts in the right place. Every time before you install a bolt, look on the directions, and then measure it against the piece of paper to make sure you're using the right bolt. Because if you don't do that, you're going to have to go back through and figure out where you put the wrong bolt in. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take these bolt S's and just kind of line them up first and just stick them in. And I'm going to put one in on the other side too. And then that way we don't have to like hold it in place while we're trying to do all this. So I just kind of stuck this bolt in here for now. And I did the same thing. I just pushed it in. I didn't even install piece L for now, but just to kind of hold it into place while I do the bottom one. And then we'll go back up and we'll redo those other ones. So once again, I got piece L. I'm going to make the hole horizontal and stick it in from the back side. If you have to, you can look inside this with a flashlight or whatever to make sure you got it lined up. We'll see. So it looks like we're hanging down a little bit low. So I'm going to line it up here, kind of look in here, and the hole looks pretty good now. There. I'll go ahead and pull out this one that I had in here temporarily, and we'll install it with piece L. Put that in the back side. Looking in the hole, make sure we got it lined up. And as long as we're over here, we'll take bolt R with lock washer Z and put it into piece P. Once again, we got our piece L with the holes horizontally. And we'll stick it in the back side. And then I will probably lift it up just a tiny bit, get it aligned, and put our bolt S with lock washer Z in there. I'm pulling out this one that I had in there temporarily and then putting in piece L with the hole horizontally. Kind of looking in there to make sure I got it straight. And then I'm going to put my bolt S back in with lock washer Z. And before I tighten that up, we'll go ahead and put in R with lock washer Z into this top piece P. I'm going to make sure I got this pushed down all the way so it doesn't have a gap in it. I think on a lot of these pieces it's best to kind of get all of the bolts started before you tighten one of them up. And here's our crib, completely assembled. Looks really pretty. Really liking the wood grain. It's really hard to find one like this in the store. Seems like this year everything's painted, but I really like the color of this. There you go. Congratulations on being a dad or a mom.